Chosen one, only 5 minutes left. God is shouting, I warned you IT was coming. It's literally, stop. Just stop whatever you're doing right now. I need you to hear this, not just listen to it, hear it. Something is about to shift in your life. And I don't mean that in a vague, feel-good kind of way. I mean there is a specific reason you landed on this video at this exact moment, on this exact day. You didn't find this. This found you. And before the next 5 minutes are over, you're going to understand something about yourself that you've been too afraid to say out loud. Because God, the universe, the divine, whatever name feels true in your heart, has been trying to get your attention for a long time now. And lately, the messages aren't gentle anymore. They're loud, they're urgent. They feel like a hand grabbing your shoulder and saying, wake up. It's time. Can I be honest with you about something? You've been tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. You've been lonely in rooms full of people. You've been smiling at the right moments and falling apart in the quiet ones. And somewhere deep inside you, there's this feeling you haven't been able to shake, this sense that your life was supposed to look different by now. Maybe you thought you'd be further along. Maybe people who started after you seem to be sprinting ahead while you feel stuck in wet concrete. Maybe you've prayed, you've worked, you've waited, and you're starting to quietly wonder if God forgot your name. You haven't lost faith, but faith has never felt more fragile than it does right now. And here's what no one tells you about that place, that specific, painful, in-between place you're in right now. That place isn't a punishment. That place is a preparation. The pressure you feel isn't God abandoning you. It's God equipping you. But before we get to that, I need to walk you through something. Because there are signs. Clear, specific signs that God is not just speaking to you, He is shouting. And once you see them, you cannot unsee them. You've been feeling restless for no logical reason. You have a roof over your head. You have people who love you. By the world's checklist, things should feel okay. But they don't. There's this low hum of restlessness under everything, like you're waiting for something without knowing what you're waiting for. Here's what I want you to understand, that restlessness isn't anxiety. It isn't ingratitude. It is a divine signal. When God is about to move you, and I mean truly move you, He first makes where you are uncomfortable. He does it on purpose. Because if you were completely at peace in the wrong season, you'd never leave it. You'd sit in a waiting room your whole life, never realizing the door was open. That restlessness you feel? It's holy. It's the engine warming up before the journey begins. You've been having dreams, signs, or repeated coincidences. Maybe you keep seeing the same number. Maybe you dreamed something so vivid it stayed with you for days. Maybe you heard a song, read a sentence, had a stranger say something that landed in your chest like it was written specifically for you. You brushed it off. You told yourself it was nothing. But you didn't fully believe that, did you? God speaks in patterns. He speaks in the language your specific heart understands. And when He's trying to get through to someone, to a chosen person, He doesn't just knock once. He knocks through your dreams, through a song on the radio, through a stranger's words, through a moment of silence that somehow says everything. You're not imagining it. You're receiving it. Old relationships, habits, and spaces are falling away. Friendships that once felt permanent are quietly dissolving. Habits you used to lean on don't bring the same comfort anymore. Places you used to belong now feel like borrowed clothes. Technically they fit, but they don't feel like you. This can feel like loss. And it is. But here's the deeper truth: God does not remove things from your life carelessly. Every ending He authors is making room for something specific. He's not randomly clearing your table. He's clearing it because He's about to set it with something that actually belongs to who you're becoming. Stop mourning what is leaving. Start asking what it is making room for. You've been tested in ways that felt deeply personal, not just hard situations, but specific, targeted tests. Tests that hit the exact things you're most insecure about. Your trust, your patience, your worth, your faith. That doesn't happen randomly. General people get general challenges. But when the tests feel surgical, when they cut right to the core of your deepest fears, it means something intentional is happening. God doesn't give customized tests to people He has ordinary plans for. The depth of the test reflects the height of the destination. Think about every person in Scripture, in history, in the stories that changed. The world, every single one of them went through a season so precise, so painful, so perfectly designed to break them open that there was no way to survive it without becoming something completely new. You are in that season, right now. You've been questioning everything, including yourself. Who am I, really? Is any of this worth it? Did I misread the signs? Was I wrong about my purpose? Am I just deluded into thinking I'm meant for something more? These questions aren't weakness. They are not evidence that your faith is broken. They are actually proof that you are growing, because shallow people never ask deep questions. People who are simply coasting through life never sit in the dark and genuinely wrestle with who they are. Jacob wrestled with God all night long. He didn't walk away the same. But he didn't walk away without the blessing either. Your wrestling is your testimony being written in real time. Don't stop. Don't tap out. Stay in the ring. You feel like you're being watched over even in the pain. Here's something you might be afraid to admit, even to yourself. In the middle of everything falling apart, there have been moments where you felt held. A sense of peace that had no logical reason to exist. A door that opened right when it needed to. Help that arrived in a form you never would have thought to ask for. You called it a coincidence. But it happened too many times for coincidence to cover it. That is not luck. That is a hand guiding you that is bigger than your circumstances. And the fact that you can feel it even faintly, even through the noise and the pain and the doubt, means the connection is still there. It was never severed. Not once. Not even on your worst day. You are not out here alone. You have never been alone. Not for a single moment of your entire life. Something inside you knows, even when logic disagrees. There's a knowing that lives deeper than logic. Deeper than what you can explain to other people. A quiet, steady voice underneath all the noise that says, "This isn't the end of your story. You haven't peaked. This setback isn't the final word. Something is coming that will make all of this make sense." You've tried to silence that voice. You've tried to be realistic. You've let other people's doubt talk louder than your own knowing, and still it's there, still whispering, still steady. In the spiritual world, that is called discernment, and it is one of the rarest, most precious gifts given to a chosen person. The world will try to convince you it's delusion, but the world cannot see what God has written over your life. Protect that knowing. It is not naive, it is prophetic. The wait has been long enough that you've considered giving up. This might be the hardest one. Because giving up doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like quietly deciding to want less, to dream smaller, to stop expecting the thing you once prayed for with everything you had, to protect yourself from disappointment by lowering the ceiling before God can. And I need to say this to you with all the gentleness I have. Please don't. Please do not give up 5 minutes before the miracle. Please do not sign a peace treaty with smallness when abundance is still on the way. The enemy of your destiny doesn't show up with a red face and obvious tactics. He shows up with exhaustion, with the quiet suggestion that maybe you were wrong, with the slow, grinding pressure of time passing without visible results. The fact that you're still here, still watching, still seeking, still fighting even when it doesn't look like fighting means you have not given up. Your presence is your persistence. And God honors that more than you know. You are being prepared, not punished. I want you to sit with this one. Really sit with it. Preparation and punishment feel identical from the inside. They both hurt. They both involve restriction, loss, waiting, uncertainty. The person being refined in fire and the person being burned are both in flames. The difference isn't the experience, it's the outcome. God does not refine people he plans to discard. He does not invest pain into futures that have no purpose. He does not build the pressure in a vessel he isn't planning to use. Every limitation you're facing right now is forming something specific in you. Patience that will hold weight. Faith that won't shatter under pressure. Humility that will keep you grounded when the elevation comes. Character that matches the calling, because without it, the blessing would destroy you instead of fulfilling you. You are not in a punishment cell. You are in a preparation room. And the preparation is almost complete. God is shouting because the door is about to open. Here is the urgent truth, the one this entire video has been building toward. God doesn't shout at people he's discarded. He doesn't send signs and dreams and restlessness and synchronized timing to someone he's given up on. The noise in your spirit right now, the urgency, the pressure, sense that something is about to happen that is not anxiety. That is God saying, get ready. Not in a year, not when you feel more prepared, now. The door you have been standing in front of, the one you've knocked on, prayed over, wept against, is about to open. And when it does, you need to be ready to walk through it without hesitation, without looking back, without apologizing for how long it took or how much it cost. Because on the other side of that door is the version of your life that was always supposed to exist. The purpose, the peace, the relationships, the impact, the fullness. It was never cancelled. It was never given to someone else. It was preserved for you. For this moment, I want to close by saying something to you directly, not to everyone watching to you. You have carried things that no one gave you credit for. You have survived seasons that would have ended other people. You have kept going on days when giving up would have been easier, cleaner, and completely understandable. And you did it without a standing ovation. You did it without anyone knowing how close to the edge you actually were. That is not ordinary. That is not something everyone can do, and it did not go unseen. There is a theology of the chosen that the world doesn't teach. It says that the people who are called to carry the most are first called to survive the most. Not because God is cruel, but because you cannot pour from an empty vessel. You cannot lead people out of places you've never been. You cannot speak to the broken with authority if you've never been broken yourself. Your pain has been your curriculum. Your waiting has been your training. Your survival has been your credential. And now, right now, the season is shifting. So here is what I'm asking you to do. Not for me, for yourself. Stop apologizing for believing in what God put in your heart. Stop shrinking to make people comfortable who were never meant to go where you're going. Stop treating your faith like a secret you have to defend. And stop measuring God's timeline by your own impatience. Instead, go back to the thing He told you before the world got loud. The dream before people talked you out of it. The call before rejection made you cautious. The version of yourself you were before disappointment made you smaller. That person wasn't naive. That person was right, and they're still in there, a little tired, a little battle-worn, but still burning. Still knowing, still chosen. You didn't arrive at this video by accident. You were sent here. And now that you've heard what you needed to hear, what you've been needing to hear for a long time, the question is simple. What are you going to do with the next 5 minutes of your life? Because that's all it takes. One decision, one step. One moment where you choose to believe again, fully, recklessly, without a backup plan, and everything changes. God is not whispering anymore. He is shouting, and you heard Him. If this message reached something in you that you've been trying to protect, something deep, something real, don't let it go. Subscribe so we can keep building this together. Every week we go deeper. Every week we choose to heal instead of hide. You belong here. See you in the next one.